All right, folks, you joined me here at midnight, almost 12:30 in the morning at my local Wawa, and I'm parked at a DC fast charger. But a couple of interesting things. First of all, I'm only a couple of miles from my house where I have awesome home charging. Also, you'll see I'm not at one of those superchargers over there. I'm instead backed into an EVgo stall. Why? Why is this the case? Well, I have some promo codes from EVgo. I have $10 for free charging. Charging is cheapest here at EVgo between midnight and 4 a.m. I just so happened to be out just coming home here at 12:30 on a weekend and figured it would be a good time to do some math. Plug in here at EVgo, see what can we get for our $10 worth of free charging, and maybe answer the question, what is $10 of free charging really even worth? And is it possible that if we try to take advantage of $10 of free charging, could it actually cost us more than if we just used a supercharger or just charged at home? So, should be interesting. Why don't we go outside and plug in, and then we'll go through the details. Okay, so here we are outside at the EVgo station, and I have my handy CCS1 adapter. So, I think with this case, what I need to do is plug in first and then enable on the app. So let's take the CCS1 connector here from Lagertha. Thank you for that. Nice and heavy. We're going to try in one-handed, pardon the movement here, plug it in, and we are now good to go. We'll plug in here first. Okay, let's see what we're saying. It says authenticate using one of these methods, and I happen to have my phone here. So let's go ahead. We're at Wawa, and we in fact are at Lagertha, CCS1, plug in, and I have it set to start auto charge, which I actually tried to do before. Charge is prepping, payment is authorized, plug-in connector, connecting your vehicle, charger is preparing. We're happy over here. Looking at the car, Tesla light is blue, still thinking. Definitely take those 6-second supercharger handshakes for granted, don't we? All right, connecting to your vehicle, checking cable safety, matching voltage. I hear contactors clicking. Car is now green. Great. And we are charging. I'm at a 45% state of charge pulling in here. I did not precondition. And I didn't precondition because I'm trying to be cheap here, right? Trying to be frugal. Didn't want to spend money, extra energy preconditioning if I didn't have to. Sitting in the car here at Wawa, at the EVgo charger, not the supercharger, but at EVgo. Again, I didn't precondition, so even though I'm at a 45% state of charge, actually now 47% state of charge, we're only getting 74 kilowatts, but that's okay. I'm not in a hurry. We're trying to be cheap here. So my promo code with EVgo is good for $10 of free charging. Now, because I'm not an EVgo member, that means I have to pay a $1 session fee. So now I have $9 of free charging. By my math, at their 41-cent per kilowatt hour super off-peak rate, my $9 should get me about 22 kilowatt hours of power. So let's see how much we get in terms of percent added with our 22 kilowatt hours of power. Let's also see how long that will take us. And then we can do some math to see, is it even worth it? Should I have just gone at home and charged? And if I wasn't thinking and I just said, oh, I'm at 20%, let me just plug in an EVgo because I have a promo code, would I have actually saved any money versus just plugging into Tesla next door? So let's watch how this goes. We'll check in a couple of minutes and see how we're progressing. As we continue to charge here, about 5 minutes in, the car was still pulling a very consistent 74 kilowatts. You can see here we're at 75. And I want to say, I think this is station limited. I think if I go to session details, this is a 100 kilowatt station, but it's saying max 200 amps. So I'm pulling the max amps right now. So I don't know that I can be pulling any more. And I guess we're not really, it's hard to see this on the screen, but currently pulling 198 amps out of a max 200. So I think this is about the maximum that this car can get at this station. So 75 kilowatts, that rate is really charger or station limited, not car limited. Anyway, we're at about $4.35 now in estimated cost. 6 minutes in, 7 kilowatt hours dispensed. So let's keep watching and see how we do. This is a pretty cool site here at this Wawa. Wawas are the best anyway. I grew up with Wawa in the Philadelphia area, and they've expanded quite a bit. But this particular site, awesome convenience store, and lots of great fresh food and everything inside, plenty of gas pumps. And then a couple years ago, 8 Tesla supercharger stalls were added. And then right after that, EVgo came in with, they have 2 units here. I think both of these offer one CHAdeMO and one CCS1, and both of these are 100 kilowatt stations. And then on the far end, they have another unit that's a 350 kilowatt station that offers 2 CCS1 plugs. So it's a pretty interesting setup where we can charge 4 CCS cars, or 2 CHAdeMO and 2 CCS cars, and then 8 Tesla stalls for the supercharger here. So really a cool setup. I drive by here all the time, and this is a very popular station, whether it's these EVgo stations or the superchargers. It's not uncommon to see these nearly at capacity. Sometimes I'll be here in my wife's car, pumping gas, wearing my Tesla hat of all things, watching a full row of EVs. When I first became an EV owner and started driving my EV, I only had level 1 charging at home. Just level 1 charging for the first year I had my Model Y here. This is my 2024 Tesla Model Y dual motor long range. And I lived on L1 charging, level 1 charging, 16 amp, 120 volt for a year. And it was really convenient when there were times where I wasn't going to be able to recoup energy fast enough. If I came home late at night on low on charge and I had a big drive in the morning, I wasn't going to quite make it up. And it was super convenient to be able to pull in here, plug in for 10 minutes, give myself a boost to make up for the slow charging at home. But honestly, I really haven't been here since. I had a level 2 charging setup installed at my house several months ago, and I just haven't had to come back since. But here I am at EVgo, charging on Lagertha here, 9 minutes in now, $6 on the ticker, 76 kilowatts is the speed we have, just cresting 12 kilowatt hours dispensed. So let's continue to watch this. Still waiting here by the Delta EVgo unit. We can see that we have almost 13 minutes in, still pulling 74 kilowatts, 16 kilowatt hours dispensed, about 808, 810 on the pricing side already, 64% state of charge. Let's talk about the dollars and cents again. So the overnight rate is 41 cents per kilowatt hour. So that made sense for me to come here and charge up. Now, the overnight rate, midnight to 4 a.m., right there, 2-3 spots over, for Tesla owners is actually 17 cents per kilowatt hour. So significantly cheaper. And with me as a Tesla owner, I don't have to pay the $1 session fee. So the math doesn't really work out, especially as a Tesla driver, unless you have one of those promo codes and you're on top of your energy dispensed and don't overcharge. It would have been way cheaper for me to just go right over there and plug in and charge my Tesla if I didn't have this promo code. If I paid the rack rate at the supercharger, that would be 24 cents. So if I had a Rivian, if I had a Hyundai, if I had a Ford F-150 Lightning, I'd be paying 24 cents per kilowatt hour, again with 0 session fee. So that's still way cheaper than EVgo charges here overnight. So I'm glad I have my promo code for my $10, and it's certainly convenient. And if I was on a road trip and EVgo was on my way, certainly would have been convenient there as well. But it's just good to know that when you're charging, always look at your options. And even if you have a promo code or if there's a sale, know your price per kilowatt hour, know what your promo code is good for, and be smart about it, because it is possible if you had a big charge to do, if you rolled in here at 5% or something like that, and you had to charge your long range EV up to 80 or more, you could be pumping in 50, 60 kilowatt hours of energy into here. And even with a $10 promo code here, the price per kilowatt hour is big enough that you could actually be spending more for a single charge at EVgo, even with a promo code, than if you had just gone to the supercharger from the start. So always do the math. And these are the cheapest rates. These are the overnight rates, midnight to 4 a.m. If I came here at 2 p.m., those differences are even bigger. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know the Tesla rates maybe get up into the 40s, perhaps. I think this one might be 36 cents per kilowatt hour for Tesla owners, probably somewhere in the 40 cents per kilowatt hour area for the rack rate, but the EVgo gets into the 60s, right? So it's actually significantly more expensive during the day. So definitely do the math, and your mileage may vary. 69 kilowatts, so we're still pulling pretty consistently here. I wouldn't call it fast, but it's pretty consistent. Just over 20 kilowatt hours dispensed. 988. All right. 995, 996, 997, 998, 999, $10. All right, we're gonna end the session right here. End it. Processing. Clicked off. Is it gonna give us a summary? I'm gonna guess no. Maybe it wants me to unplug. Let's do that. Pull that out. Release the handle from the adapter. Put this thing back. Final cost unavailable, but we can see 20.682 kilowatt hours dispensed. All right, so there we go. Back in the car after charging up. Now my state of charge is currently 70%. Started at 45, I believe, so picked up quite a bit. Picked up 45 to 70%. What's that, 25% state of charge? And let's check our EVgo app and see if it has any good information in it yet. And just like that, we have the EVgo app. Let me just hit the button on my sexy knob and turn the lights on. We have the update in my EVgo app, and we can see I currently have 2 cents of account credit. So maybe I hit that stop button just a minute too soon, and we can see, let's look at the details of the charge we did today. So thank you for charging with us. 16 minutes today we spent. We took on 20.6 kilowatt hours of energy, 99-cent transaction fee, $8.48 for the energy at 41 cents per kilowatt hour. There was some tax, so total is $9.98. So I didn't time it quite right. I should have let it run. The estimated cost must have been a little bit wrong, but hey, I got a decent amount of power. Though, let's just say 20.6 kilowatt hours. If you round that up to 21 kilowatt hours of power, let's just round it up, 21 kilowatt hours of power. Now, at home, I pay 20 cents per kilowatt hour. That's my energy and my delivery cost, 20 cents per kilowatt hour at home. So if I had charged 21 kilowatt hours of power at home, it would have cost me $4.20. So you could pretty much say that my $10 of EVgo charging today actually didn't get me $10. It saved me about $4.20. I'll also add that if I'm DC fast charging my 21 kilowatt hours of power, I could have gone 2 stalls down at the supercharger, and they are only going to charge me 17 cents per kilowatt hour. So at that rate, instead of $4.20, I would have actually paid $3.57. So my $10 of EVgo credit still saved me money, but not $10. It actually just saved me $3.57. Well, I hope you found this, I don't know, useful or entertaining. Definitely not a bad way, I guess, for me as an EV nerd to spend 20 minutes on a weekend night here. But I thought it would be just interesting to see what did my promo code really get me. And I think the lesson is just know your energy, right? Know your rates, know your needs, right? If I'm on the road, this probably wouldn't have been a big deal for me just to stop at EVgo and charge up versus a supercharger, especially if it was located conveniently. But if it's just here at home and I want to take advantage of a deal, I need to be smart about it, right? I need to time it. I need to do that math. Because if I pulled in here at 5% and let it rip to 80, I would have overspent compared to charging at home or charging right over there at the supercharger. Yeah, so when you're taking advantage of promo codes, when you're choosing fast charging locations, be smart about it. Know your price per kilowatt hour. Be on top of how much you're getting for your promo code. And you can really make out pretty well and save some money. Also, can we just say, how cool is it in 2025 that we have so much choice? I love that in this same location, I can choose which network I want to charge at. Do I want to charge at EVgo? Do I want to charge at Tesla Supercharger? All right here in the same lot. If I had a Cybertruck and I was in a hurry, I might actually prefer to charge all the way at the 350 kilowatt unit that they have here with EVgo, even if it costs more, right? If I'm in a hurry, that can actually provide more power to that Cybertruck than these V3 superchargers can do. But if I want convenience, I might choose the supercharger. If I have something like an F-150 Lightning and I don't want to deal with an adapter, I can plug in right here at EVgo. Choice great. Thank you for joining me tonight on my kind of nerdy experiment. catch you again on the next one soon. Thank you.